All right, let's see if this is gonna help. Let's see if this is going to help. Let's put the B-Rap back screen on. Let's see if this is gonna help. Good day, and welcome to our live stream where we're going to be breaking down the master key to property, not just for me, but also for you. I hope you guys are ready. If you are ready, as it says in the chat, let me see in the live chat the word ready. For those of you who are ready for us to rock and roll, for us to literally go, let me see the word ready in the chat so I know that you guys are here and ready to go into today's session. Now, in today's session, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down the first of the 4 keys in order for you to succeed in property. Now, one of the things I shared in our previous session, which was our introduction session, was that there is a master key in order to succeed in property. And I started to break down what that master key was. If you guys can hear me and if you guys are with me, let me see the word ready in the chat so I know you guys can hear me and I know you guys are with me. And guys, for those of you who are using the main chat on YouTube, you need to use the live chat, okay? The live chat is the chat I see right now. And then after this video is up and published, people will then be able to see the main chat, which you can actually comment on afterwards. But for now, we're just using the live chat, all right? Hopefully that helps everybody in terms of orientation. Now, what we want to do, I believe we're good right now. I believe we're good in terms of audio and everything. I know last time we had an audio issue. Hopefully we have no scheduled audio problems for today's session. And I want to jump straight into the value for today's class as well. So the way we're going to do that is I need you guys who are with me right now to just jump into the live chat and write the word ready so I know you guys are with me. And those of you who are watching this on a replay, just hashtag ready inside of the chat. Now, in our first session, I spoke to you guys about exactly why I was doing this live stream. So if you missed that, go back and watch the introductory session. Now, in this session, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be outlining for you guys the first of the 4 keys that you need in order to succeed in property. And I shared in our last session, in our introductory session, that the key is not what most people think it is. You see, many people think that the key in property is the strategy that they're using. Okay, so some people think, okay, I need to start doing a specific strategy, and when I start doing this specific strategy, I'm then going to be able to produce certain kinds of results. Well, here's the thing. I'm here to tell you today, guys, the strategy is not the key. Okay, the strategy is not the key. The key comes way before the strategy. All right, and I want to explain this to you. When you go to open a door, you don't open a door by using things inside of the house. I'm going to say that again. Hope you guys are catching this. When you go to open a door, you don't open a door by using the things already inside of the house. The way that you open a door is by using a key, which is fairly small, but it's utilized to get you into the house. So this is exactly what we're going to be sharing with you guys in today's session. We're going to be sharing with you what the master key is. And the first master key is what we're going to be revealing to you guys today. Now, in our introductory session, one of the things I said to you guys is that most people make the mistake of thinking that the way they're going to succeed in property is simply by choosing the right strategy. Here's the reality. Whether you are doing development, whether you are doing buy-to-let, whether you are doing any strategy, lease options, rent-to-rent, it doesn't make a difference. It all starts with finding the property first. I'm going to say that one more time. It always starts with finding the property first. Now, why am I sharing this with you? The reason I'm sharing this with you is because I don't want you to make the same mistake that I made years ago when I first got invested in property and I was just trying to do everything without realizing the actual way to win in property was not by doing everything. I see E Cosmios in the chat with ready, so I know you guys are hearing this and I know you guys are ready to go, all right? So that was one of the big mistakes I made. One of the big mistakes I made was thinking that I needed to do the right strategy. And then I started thinking I needed to do every strategy. And then I quickly realized, hold on a minute, none of these strategies work unless, someone write in the chat, unless, none of these strategies actually work unless I'm actually using the master key. And the master key is your ability to find the right property, okay? If you're taking notes, I want you to write that down. Your master key is your ability to find the right property. Let me explain this to you. If you find a property that is not a good investment, it's not a good deal, guess what's going to happen? It doesn't matter whether you're doing this strategy or that strategy. Any strategy is not going to make a difference. Why? Because you found the wrong property. I hope you're hearing this. You see, many people make this mistake. Many people think, you know what, I just need to do A or I just need to do B, but they don't realize that the reality is it's not about all of the things you've been told it's about. It's actually Holy Spirit, Holy Spirit. Good day, and welcome to our live stream. We are at it again, back again, literally back again. For those of you who are with us, let us see the word ready in the chat. Let us see the word ready in the chat. Just to make sure, because we're on a live stream, you can hear me. Let me see the word ready in the chat so I know you guys are ready, steady to go. We're going to be jumping straight into today's session. We've got a lot to uncover and a little bit of time. So without further ado, if you are with us, like I said, throw the word ready in the chat. Now, in our last session, we broke down to you guys exactly what the master key to property investing was. And I shared with you that the master key is finding the property. I was once told a number of years ago that we make our money when we buy, which basically means we make our money on the entry of property deals, not on the middle or the exit of property deals. There are many people who do things like refurbish those properties and then sell those properties, and they think the money's made on the end, the exit of the deal. Let me tell you something. The property revenue is never made on the exit of the deal. The revenue is always made on the entry of the deal. If you buy a bad deal, it doesn't matter how much you fix it up, you're not going to generate a profit, okay? So because of that, what I wanted to do is I wanted to help you guys move further faster in your property investing journey by literally outlining for you what the master key to property is. And I shared with you guys in the introductory session, the master key is finding a great property. It doesn't matter if you're in development. It doesn't matter if you're doing lease options. It doesn't matter if you're doing rent to rent. It doesn't matter if you're doing buy to let. Any strategy is incomplete without first having the property. Some of you know I created this program here called 30 Ways in 30 Days, where I clearly outline for you guys 30 separate ways that you can make money using property as a vehicle. And here's the interesting thing. You can't do any of those 30 ways if you don't first find a property. So I want you to understand as we go deeper into today's session, it all starts with finding a property. Someone throw that in the chat. It all starts with finding the property. So a question you might be asking yourself is, Samuel, if it all starts with finding a property, how do I find these great property deals? And guess what? I'm so glad you asked. And because you asked, what I'm going to be doing is unraveling for you and revealing for you guys my bespoke interactive online tool where literally we have utilized this with our coaching clients, high-level coaching clients, to help them find better property deals, all right? And those of you who are with us on the introductory session, you would have seen us actually unravel through the whole introduction element of this particular resource. But in today's session, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be going even deeper with you guys by sharing with you guys exactly how this resource can help you move further faster in your property investment journey. And the way we're going to be doing that is we're literally going to be showing you guys exactly all of the keys inside by opening up the first of the multiple parts of this interactive training resource. And guys, some of we asked you guys on the introduction, if you want this interactive resource for yourself, all you need to do is write the words "I want it" in the live chat of the last video. I think we had that 1 or 2 people write that in. So as a result, we're not going to be making it available today. But if you guys want it, let me see in the live chat, "I want it." Or if you're watching this on a replay, #replay, "I want it." And when we get enough "I want it," what we're going to do is we're going to make this available for you guys to move further faster in your property investment journey. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to put the live chat on the screen. If you guys can see the live chat, just write the word yes, yes, yes in the chat. You guys should be able to see the live chat right now. And what we're going to do is, the reason I'm putting the live chat on the screen as well as what I'm actually going to be showing you in terms of the interactive tool is so that way, when you guys write "I want it," people can see it on the screen and they can know I'm lying or I'm not lying, all right? I see E Cosmios, who literally throws it in first, who says "I want it." I like that. Interesting, okay? Well, let's see how many "I want it's" we get before the end of this live stream. And then literally that's going to determine whether we make this available to you guys in our next session or maybe later on in this session, etc., etc. I see the yeses coming in as well. All right, this is absolutely awesome. So with that being said, let's jump straight in. You guys should be able to see the property master key banner. If you can see the property master key banner, just write "I can" in the chat. And then straight after you guys let me know you can see that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our interactive resource, our literal mind map, for you guys to see the mind of how to make it work in your property investment journey. So hopefully you guys should be able to see this. And in a moment, I should be able to literally share with you guys my screen. And straight after I can share with you guys my screen, you guys will be able to see every single thing that you need to succeed on your property investment journey. I hope you guys are loving this already, because I am literally enjoying this. All right, so let me just check the chat. All right, I can't see if you guys can see the screen yet, but we're going to jump in. Hopefully you guys can. And if you can't, then just let me know in the chat. All right. So this is the mind map that I basically revealed to you guys in our introductory session. What I'm going to be doing in today's session is, as I shared with you guys, I created the sourcing blueprint, which was an ebook a number of years ago. And we literally give that away for free. And people go to sourcingblueprint.com. I'll say that again, sourcingblueprint.com, to literally get the free ebook. Now, I created that ebook a number of years ago, and that ebook outlines the 4 key areas, which are the 4 parts to this master key that I'm talking about. And we call that the sourcing blueprint, okay? Now, for those of you who have never heard of the word sourcing before, sourcing is the activity and the artistry of finding great property deals. It's exactly how you find great property deals. And there's only 4 key pieces, 4 core components in order to make that happen. Now, what I decided to do some time back is take the sourcing blueprint, the ebook, the structure, the infographic that I created, and turn that into an interactive resource so my coaching clients at the highest level could take advantage of that and find great property deals, all right? So this is the actual interactive tool that we've been using for a number of years, and we have never actually revealed to the public until our last session, where we did the introduction for these sessions. So this session, you're actually going to see some of the core content, because in the last session, I went through the introduction with you guys, and I was breaking down for you guys in the introduction exactly who this is not for. I went on further and shared with you guys who this is for. So I want to repeat for you guys as we jump into the first part of the master key, who this is for, before we go even deeper, much more. If this sounds good to you, let me see the word good in the chat. Now, this particular series of live streams, these videos, this training is for those who are interested in creating sustainable wealth, okay? If you're the kind of person who wants to make wealth today and be broke again tomorrow, this unfortunately is not for you. This set of training and resources, these tutorials, are for those who have more sense than money. If you're one of those people like me who have realized every time you learn more, you decide to earn more, then this is for you, okay? But if you're one of those opposite people who think you've earned so much, you don't need to learn so much, guys, this is not for you, all right? And the reason I'm reiterating this is because we don't want the wrong people engaging with this content, all right? Let's go deeper. Who else is this for? This is for those who know that learning more helps earning more. And this is also for those who are teachable. Because if you're not teachable, let me tell you something, you are not reachable. So this is for those who are teachable. This is also for those who will take action. Okay? Now we have hundreds of people who have been a part of our 5-day cash flow creation challenge. We have hundreds of people who have been a part of grabbing the Sourcing Blueprint ebook and utilizing it and producing results. Now, let me tell you why all of these people produce results. Because they are willing to take action. As one of my coaches says, action takers are money makers. Someone throw that in the chat, because if you're not a perpetual action taker, guess what? You will not be a perpetual money maker. And last but not least, this is for those who are ready to invest the time and appropriate resources for the results. So if that's you, just write I am in the chat. If that's you, just write the word I am in the chat. Now, in the introduction last week, we broke down all of the aspects of what this is and who this is for. In today's session, we're breaking down the first of the 4 parts of exactly what the Sourcing Blueprint Mind Map is all about. And the first part, the first master key, for those of you who've tuned in, if you're just jumping in, let us know in the chat where you're joining us from. Let us know where in the UK, where in the world. If you're part of the US audience that we have, let us know where in the US you're joining us from, all right? Because I want to greet you guys. I want to welcome you guys into this stream. But this session, we're going to be talking to you guys about the first part, what I believe is the most important part of the 4-part master key to property. And that first part is marketing, okay? I hope you guys are ready, because that first part is marketing, okay? Marketing, 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 marketing. Now, some of you have said you would love to get this actual resource available. If you would love to get this resource available, you just need to let us know in the chat with the word I want it. And as we see enough people say I want it, we're going to make this available. Now, I'm going to share this very quickly with you guys. We may be doing these live streams right now on YouTube, but my team are going to decide whether these streams stay up on YouTube, okay? There's several reasons why my team make decisions about keeping or not keeping content on the internet. Sometimes they decide not to keep it on the internet because of the simple fact that there are other people out there who we call copycats who are going to try and find this content and copy this content, all right? So this is one of the reasons. So what we like to do is make sure that some of our content, especially if it's unique, generic content or unique content and not generic content, we like to make sure we don't just leave it out there on those internet streets, all right? But if it's going to be extremely valuable to you guys and you guys want us to leave it out there, you're one of those people who haven't joined our community in any way, shape or form, just let us know in the chat and then our team can also look into that, all right? But you got to let us know because we don't know what you're thinking until you tell us what you're thinking. All right, now, in today's session, we're going to be breaking down the marketing component. Marketing is the first of the 4 parts of the Sourcing Blueprint. So I'm going to jump straight into this because we don't have time to waste. So a question you might be asking yourself about marketing is, how do I? Now, how do you what? Well, how do you find great property deals? If you're someone who's saying to yourself, you know what, Samuel, I would love to start utilizing this master key. I'd love to be someone who could move further faster in my property investing journey. I just don't know how. Well, here's the key. You're gonna have to start by marketing. And the reason you start by marketing is because you're answering that question, the simple question that I just raised to you: how do you find great property deals? And the key to finding great property deals is what we call effective marketing, okay? Most people do not engage in effective marketing. Let me tell you what most people do. Most people go and look and knock and check out estate agents. And as they look and knock and check out estate agents, guess what happens? The estate agents give them what they've got. And unfortunately, what most people do not realize is most estate agents do not have exclusive deals. Most estate agents do not have great property deals. You see, the reason I can share that with you is because most estate agents are marketing and offering property to a mass market. And because they're doing that to a mass market, guess what? Supply and demand is the law of business, and based on supply and demand, as a direct result, they do not end up with the most exclusive deals. I hope this is helping somebody who didn't realize this before, okay? And if you're getting value at any point of this stream, feel free to write the word value in the chat and hit that share button. Let's go deeper. The key is effective marketing. So what does that look like, all right? Let's look at a few ways to do this. Now, we have multiple ways to do this inside of this actual mind map. Okay, in the Sourcing Blueprint training program, which we retail for £4,200, we have so many multiple ways that people can market. But inside of this blueprint, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you the framework by sharing with you our double D formula for each of these three. So let's go into the first one. The first one we're going to look at is called direct mail. And here's the double D. The first one is devise. The second one is designs. I'm going to talk to you about devising first and foremost. So in order to devise a direct mail campaign, now for those of you who don't know what direct mail is when you write a direct letter to an individual, a person or a party, in order for them to respond to you about their property situation. So the first thing you have to ask yourself is, who is your target? Who are you actually targeting when you do direct mail campaigns? Are you targeting landlords? Okay. Are you targeting all seller types, or are you targeting others? Now, with regards to landlords, let's go deeper. There are specialist landlords and there are traditional landlords. Now, some people think they're focused on specialist landlords when really they're only focused on traditional landlords. How would you know the difference? I'm so glad you asked. You see, if you're looking for specialist landlords, you might want to look at the HMO register. HMO, for those of you who don't know what that stands for House of Multiple Occupation. You might want to look at the HMO register in your local area. Now, that might be in your borough if you're based in London, or that might be in your city or town if you're based outside of London. Now, the HMO register is a specific, unique register that you can get for free. I'm going to say that again, that you can get for free due to the Data Protection Act and the Freedom of Information Act, okay? So the HMO register is out there for every city, every borough in the UK for you to access. Now, if you're in the US, again, you need to let me know in the chat if you're someone joining us from the US market, because we have multiple students in the US as well. We can share with you exactly what you can do, which is very similar to this. But for those of you in the UK, like I am based, you can use the HMO register to find specialist landlords. And these are specialist HMO landlords. Now, there are other specialist landlords you can find through other registers as well. But these are some of the things we talk about on our in-depth training program. Now, traditional landlords. How do you find traditional landlords? One of the ways is through the rental license register. Now, every single borough, every single city, every single town in the UK has what we call a rental license register. The rental license register is a form which is filled out, a spreadsheet which is documented and populated by all of the landlords who have paid for a rental license. So if you're in an area where there's a licensing framework in place for you to rent out your property, which is most of the places throughout the UK, they will have a rental license register. And that rental license register will give you and I access to all of the landlords which are literally in that area. I see it in the chat. I see let's go. Yes, let's go. That's how you guys know that we are going in. Now, let's look at some of the seller types. We've just looked at landlords. We looked at specialist landlords, and then we also looked at traditional landlords. But now let's look at the different seller types, okay? Now, you have residential house sellers. These are residential people who are selling houses which people live in. And then you have retail house sellers. Let's look a bit deeper into residential house sellers. Now, some of the residential house sellers you will find, these are houses marketed for sale. So when you take a walk, which is something we're going to talk about in a little while, you will find on the street literally houses with signs up which say for sale. Guess what? That's a residential house seller. Now, the person who's selling the house may not live in the house. That may be a buy-to-let property that they've bought. That may be a house that they've inherited. That may be a number of other things. Again, these are stuff that we go into much more depth in our £4,200 program, the Sourcing Blueprint, the deep dive online program. Now, like I said, this specific mind map will be made available for you guys if I see the words "I want it" enough in the chat both in the live chat and also in the replay chat. But again, guys, you guys have to let us know if you want this. We will be making this available, and we won't be making it available for £4,200, but we equally won't be making it available for free, just so you know, because you have to invest with the best in order to stand the test. Let's keep going deeper. So residential house sellers are people who are marketing their house for sale. And there's multiple people like that out there who you can connect with in order to help them, and you will also in turn find great deals, okay? But side by side with that, you also have retail house sellers. Now, these are houses also marketed for sale, but their houses marketed in a slightly different way, okay? So they'll be on different platforms and in different arenas. And these are things you can look out for as well, okay? So they are all different seller types. Now, but there's also others, okay? And what others are there? Well, there's something which we call niche groups. And this is something most people do not talk about, but this is one of the reasons why I wanted to share this with you guys, because again, this mind map we've been using for a number of years to help people move further faster. Now, here's an example of a niche group, okay? A homeowner is in court. So they're going to court, all right? And as a result of them going to court, let's say they're going to court because they're getting divorced, or let's talk about another group. Let's say they go into court because they have CCJs against their name and they're struggling to pay their mortgage, okay? So they could be going to court for multiple reasons. But what you find is in the UK and also in the US, you have something called court listings. Now, court listings are one of the ways for you to find other target groups who you may want to focus on in order to direct your direct mail marketing to. If someone's getting value, just write the word value in the chat, okay? So they're court listings. So homeowners who are in court for some reason or shape or form, you can find them through means of court listings in order for you to tap into that specific niche group. I hope someone's getting value. If you're getting value, let me see the word value in the chat. So this is one way you can devise your direct mail marketing campaigns. Now let's talk about the design, because this is important as well. How are you going to actually design the thing that you're going to deploy? Okay, because there's devise, there's design, and then there's deploy. Now, how do we design this? Let's go into it. The first thing is your target determines your design. Okay, our target determines our design. What does that mean? That means you don't just create marketing mail for the sake of creating marketing mail. You have to ask yourself, who's this mail going to? What predicament are they going through? What is the situation they're in? And once you understand that, it makes it simpler and easier for you to put the design together, okay? So let's go into this a bit more, okay? What are they looking for? This is essential, okay? And more importantly, how can we provide this? This is going to determine how you design the marketing that you put out. Because the marketing you put out, you want it to speak to them. And the only way it's going to speak to them is if you've taken enough time to ask yourself, what are they looking for? So in the niche group example I gave a moment ago, if someone's going through a court case where maybe they're 2 or 3 months behind on their mortgage payments, what are they looking for? They're looking for a speedy solution. And 9 times out of 10, those speedy solutions are not necessarily the most expensive solutions. So you may not have to spend the most amount to buy their house, but you will have to operate with speed to help them out. So the question is, what are they looking for? And the way we answer it is by asking, how can we provide exactly what they're looking for? Now, some of the things we sometimes overlook, especially those of you who spend all your time going to estate agents, is what are the actual challenges of the individual you're dealing with? And once you think about their actual challenges, so for example, if you're dealing with someone who's going through court because they have late payments on their mortgage, they are going to need a solution. So the question we have to ask is, how do we solve this for them? Okay? You see, there are so many people out there in the property space who are what I call unethical investors, because they do not care about the people who they're getting these properties from. If you want to succeed, you will need to be someone who's an ethical investor so you can succeed long term. I'm not talking about this year and next year. I'm talking about for the life of your term and your children and your children's children. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is if you are ethical. If people know your name and know your name is a good name, not a bad name, as the Bible talks about. So I need you to start thinking, if you're interested in deploying these kind of approaches, in what are the challenges of the people you are helping and how do you solve their challenges? Because the moment you start thinking about that, guess what? You're tapping into what Jesus said, he who will become the master of all must first become the servant of all. So you're tapping into the fact that you're going to serve people through means of your direct mail marketing. And because you're going to serve people through means of your direct mail marketing, those people receive your letters, they receive what you send, and they think to themselves, you've already thought about the problem I'm going through more than I've been able to think about it because I'm going through it. Okay? And this is how they allow you to help them. So that's a little bit about our target determines our design. Now let's talk about practically speaking. You see, if you want to practically be effective in your marketing and you want to put marketing out that people literally see and they're like, I'm in, you need to aim to stand out. Now, the reason I'm very explicit about this in the mind map is because of 3 reasons. Here's the first main reason, and I don't know if we're going to have time to go into the other 2 reasons because I want to jump into the leafleting and the property spotting as well. But the main reason why you need to be adamant, you need to be quick, you need to be ready to stand out is because we are taught in school to not stand out. You see, I used to work as a secondary and A-level math teacher, and I know in all of the classes, in all of the assemblies, in all of the time I spent in schools, I watched in every single school, students taught to blend in and not to stand out. Well, let me share something with you. I believe that you and I are created by the unique finger of God, and I believe that every single one of us is a unique individual. I don't see you as a number. I don't see you as a metric. This is one of the reasons why when I jump on live, I say, guys, let me know in the chat who you are. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Why? Because I believe you are a unique human being. Now, because I believe you are a unique human being, guess what? I believe you're going to have to stand out. You have to use some of your uniqueness to stand out to the audience of people you desire to help, even through your direct mail. And as you do that, guess what's going to happen? Hello, somebody. You are going to be recognized as being different. So there are elements of distinction that you and I have, and you have to use them to your advantage. I'm going to give you one which is really, really simple. Okay, this is really, really simple. Now, in every organization, you would be advised through means of good business acumen to have a brand, to have a color scheme, to have a palette which recognizes or symbolizes your organization. Now, many of you guys know Impact Properties, our property business, has a very blue-esque nature to it, all right? So we've got blue boards in the studio, okay? Those of you who's looking at the mind map, you can see the mind map is blue. Those of you who are even seeing us in this live environment, you can see the panels are blue, light blue, teal blues. Why? Because that's part of our brand structure. So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because that alone can be an element of distinction. The very fact that you decide to use colored envelopes when you're sending your direct mail and you don't choose to use the simple white envelopes that most people have used for centuries and decades. But instead you say to yourself, no, I'm going to use specific envelopes which are actually on brand. Okay. Now, those of you who do say, I want it in the chat, if we do end up releasing this mind map to you guys and the community, you're going to be able to literally click this link right here. And from clicking this link, let's see if I can open it up in another tab, or you can do it right there. From clicking this link right here, what's going to happen is it's literally going to take you to the exact envelopes that you can grab right there for you guys to know exactly what to do. Okay, so I want you guys to understand we've got every single thing for you inside of this mind map. This mind map is going to allow you to move further faster by literally getting access to it. Like I said, we're not giving you access to this for free. There will be a charge associated, but it's not going to cost you the £4,200 to join our Sourcing Blueprint program. Now, you can use colored envelopes as a source of distinction. What else could you use? You could use handwritten envelopes, okay? Now, many people like to do things speedily and quickly. So what they try to do is they go and outsource. They use companies like DocMail, okay? You can write that down, DocMail, DocMail. They're not the only company, but they're one of the companies that we know some of our students are using. And so many people use companies like that in order to get their mail merged and sent out quickly. Now, one of the drawbacks of using those companies is they don't offer you handwritten mail. So if you're using a colored envelope, those companies won't use a colored envelope. But not only will they not use a colored envelope, they also won't handwrite the mail. So we would advise, if you want to use elements of distinction, one of the elements of distinction is handwriting the mail. Why? Because when you have a handwritten letter that comes to you, your increase, your probability of opening it is much higher. So as a result, for us as property investors, we have an increased open rate of the people who are selling properties or renting properties who open our letter because we're using handwritten letters when we're sending them. Now, I have not said that you have to write the letters by hand, because you don't, and I don't. I haven't written letters by hand for about 5.5 years, okay? You can employ someone, you can bring someone on board in your team. And again, this is stuff we go into much more depth in the other training. Now, let's go deeper. By you utilizing handwritten letters, you're not only increasing your open rates, you're also personalizing the communication. You're making the communication extremely personal because somebody knows you had to have taken time to actually put the pen to the paper in order to write that specific message or that specific letter that they've just received, okay? So it personalizes the communication. And again, it's another element of distinction, which is extremely key as you break down how you do your direct mail, okay? If you guys are getting value from what we just shared in terms of direct mail, let me see the word value in the chat. If you guys are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat before we jump into even more value in today's session, okay? Because I've got still 2 more specific approaches that I'd love to go through with you. I'd love to share with you guys and give you guys even more insights on how you can move further faster in your journey. So if you guys are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat. If you guys are getting value, let me see the word value in the chat, because we're going to go even deeper right now, okay? And I hope you guys are ready for us to go even deeper. All right. So we've just covered direct mail. Now, what I want to cover with you guys now is leafleting. Now, and generating more revenue. Okay, I'm going to explain that one more time, and I hope you guys caught that. If you didn't, well, you're going to catch it now. Whilst you are working out and complaining, whilst you are trying to find out whether leafleting is of value as a property investor who's doing marketing, let me tell you something. There are people out there who aren't working it out, who aren't trying to figure it out, and they're actually doing the leafleting and getting work. So let's jump into the double D process for leafleting as well. First one is devise. Let's talk about how to devise a leafleting campaign. All right. A question you might ask yourself when you start marketing specifically focused on leafleting is, where should I leaflet? All right. And I'm so glad you asked, right? The first thing you need to think about is how many properties are in the radius you're focusing on. Okay. You want to create a radius, a bandwidth for your marketing, especially if you're doing leafleting. You don't want to leaflet the whole of the UK. You don't want to leaflet the whole of London. You don't want to leaflet the whole of East London. You want to have a specific radius that you are focused on and you are targeting. Now, let's break this down. Let's do some basic maths. You see, if you've got 10,000 leaflets, here's a great question I'm going to ask you, right? Which is better? Is it better with 10,000 leaflets marketing to 10,000 properties or marketing to 1,000 properties? Now, I want you guys to literally throw your answer in the chat. If you're joining us live, let us know in the live chat right here. 10,000 properties with 10,000 leaflets, or 10,000 leaflets to 1,000 properties. Just put 10,000 or 1,000 in the live chat. And if you're joining us on a replay, hashtag replay, and throw your answer in the comments below. Let us know what you think. Is it better with 10,000 leaflets to leaflet to 10,000 properties, or with 10,000 leaflets to leaflet to 1,000 properties? Now, let's see. 1 leaflet per property, if you are doing 10,000 properties with 10,000 leaflets, versus 10 leaflets per property. Now, here's the reality. You can do whatever you choose. I'm going to tell you what I choose. I have always chosen to go for less properties with my message repeatedly over more properties and my message going out scarcely, okay? Hopefully that's going to help you. So for me, when I'm looking at this opportunity with 10,000 leaflets, I'm always going to choose a radius of 1,000 properties to repeatedly send my message to, repeatedly market to, over 1 leaflet per property with 10,000 properties and 10,000 leaflets. All right. If someone's getting value, throw that word value in the chat. All right. Now, that's how you think about devising your marketing specifically with a leaflet campaign. Okay. I want you to think about the radius. I want you to think about who you're targeting. And then after you've answered those questions, take full advantage of doing repeated marketing rather than doing scarce marketing. All right. Let's go even deeper. Design. We do not need to reinvent the wheel. Okay. So let's break that down a little bit more. Okay. What most people don't realize is there are two parts to this, okay? And there's multiple ways to think about the two parts, but there are generally two parts to this. Let's look at the two parts. The first one is constructing the layout. The first thing you need to do is have a layout, a framework that makes sense. Now, one of the models that we teach our students is called the AIDA model, AIDA. It's one of the models we teach our students. You can write that down in the live chat for those of you who are with us live. And for those of you who are on the replay, hashtag replay AIDA, AIDA, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and lastly, action. Okay, what action do you want the people to take? All right, so the AIDA model is literally one of the models that we use in order to help people as we do what we do. Now, you don't have to use the AIDA model, you don't have to use anything at all. You can choose exactly what you want to use, but we use the AIDA model. So again, that's one of many models we teach our students in order for them to move further faster in their marketing endeavors. All right, so that's one that you can think about. Now, let's go even deeper than just the AIDA model. The next thing is the colors. Here's the second part you need to think about, all right? Now, one of the things you can do is check out color psychology, right? If you Google the word color psychology, start a small study on understanding how colors have an effect on our mind and our brain and our eyes, okay? So color psychology is something you guys should check out. Now, we don't have a link in here. I'm going to speak to the team. We should probably put a link in here to some of the training or the resources that we recommend as it pertains to color psychology, so you guys can very quickly understand, you know, from color maps, okay, this is what this color means. This is what this color helps people's mind to think about when I market. So these are two important things to think about as you get your marketing up and running. The first one is the color psychology.